Show of hands, how many of you have lost money buying and selling gold and silver coins? That's my hand being raised. More than likely you have too in one way or another. But in this video, we're going to be talking about the biggest risk in collecting gold and silver coins, and that is the high premium stuff. Let's discuss the biggest mistake you can make in buying and selling gold and silver collector coins in this video as we explore. That's right. That's one thing you should not be fooled by, and that is a return on your investment. Because let's face it, whenever you buy these coins, you hope to be able to make your money back and profit, really, in the long run. That's kind of what it's about for some folks out there. But for me, it's a little different story, and I would make the argument that for you, it should be too. There's something about having a coin that's a little different than the standard silver eagle out there, as represented by this coin here, which is a little different than your standard silver eagle, that's for sure. Most of you already know what that is. But nonetheless, there are a lot of different ways to be able to collect coins, and if you're a hardcore stacker and you've been stacking for a long time, well, you likely have probably dabbled a bit in the collector market. And you may want to expand into what is known as better bullion. Some people call it semi-numismatics. That is pieces like the Lunar series from the Perth Mint that have limited mintages. And when I say limited mintages, we're talking about in the hundreds of thousands, but still limited. And the popularity has caused some of them to do fairly well in the secondary market, depending on when and how you buy it. And that is one of the first lessons we must learn about the secondary market. The secondary market is what is going to make or break collectible coin values in the future. Everything you see here was bought either at a very high premium or very close to spot price. That's right, even though they are limited mintage. And that is the thing that you do not want to be fooled by, is the rarity. That's right. Do not let rarity rule the day with your gold and silver. And I'm going to be showing an example of that with my rarest gold coin that I've ever purchased. I just made this purchase and it just arrived. Stay tuned. I'll show you that later in the video. And by the way, channel sponsor Summit Metals, well, they have collectible silver coins that you can get with limited mintages, but you should buy them for why? Not to make money on them, but because you enjoy them. That's right. Higher premium stuff does come with a price, for sure. And Summit Metals has a growing variety of pieces there, and I've showcased some of those on this channel. But you should buy them with no expectations of a return on your investment. You buy them to enjoy them. So check them out and experience their great customer service at summitmetals.com. So what do I mean by that? Well, I think your motivation for buying gold and silver collector coins should be because you enjoy them, and or there is as close to a foolproof way to be able to profit from them with avenues that are at your disposal as quickly as you can. And that really is what it's about. It's about timing, the hype of the market. And right now I'm seeing somewhat of a mixed review on these coins. This is the American Silver Eagle Laser Privy coin. You can see there's a laser privy showcasing the special manufacturing process to produce this coin, laser engraved and the like. And this coin is sort of a mixed bag right now. I've heard that it's going very, very well in the secondary market. In fact, I've seen some dealers sell these things for $300 a pop, even though it was issued from the United States Mint and is not fully sold out yet. So you have to be very, very careful about that. Limited mintage for proof coins anyway, and they can go up and down depending on the timing of the market. And usually, though, the highest price you're going to get to them is immediately after its release, especially if it sells out immediately after its release from the mint. In the United States Mint, given that we live in the United States, and by and large, that can play a role no matter where we're at in the world, and no matter what you're buying. If it's hot in your area, in your country, watch out. You can tap that market very, very quickly and easily in this digital age where there's auctions like Whatnot and other avenues, or if you have a local coin shop that will take the risk and resell those coins, you can sell to them somewhat of a profit. Many of us have seen cases where some dealers will offer you $75, $100 right out of the gate before you even buy. You just commit your one to them with an unopened box, and it's easy money. You just send it right over to them. They give you the shipping label and pay for shipping and everything. It's pretty nice and pretty easy way to be able to get yourself a little bit of a quick profit right out of the gate without you actually even seeing the coin. What fun is that? It does take a little bit of work, though, outside of that, for that's the easiest money you can make on these. And, of course, it's all about the demand. So, in other words, we should not be fooled by mintage. And time is not usually your friend, especially for the modern collectible stuff. Although I believe this metal, and this is a rare case where the metals have done very well in the secondary market, has done pretty good in the secondary market. I've not actually been keeping pace with these, but I know that they've been upwards around $300 a pop now for one of these. But nonetheless, that is something, and I've not even looked at this. Is this doing okay in the secondary market? I'm not sure. This is a metal as well, and I'd love to know what that's doing. I haven't researched that, but who knows what that's doing. And one of the reasons why I don't keep track of these things is because, with rare exceptions, and there are some exceptions, I basically buy because I enjoy or I like the coin. Now, I'm not really big on Privy Mark coins, but I did want to get this one because this is the first time that I think any mint has actually had a Privy Mark that describes the process of producing a coin. I think that's unique. I don't know of any other mint that has done that, and that is something that's rare for the United States Mint to even commemorate. So that's something that they can say they were a first on, unless I'm missing something, but I don't know of any other mint that it has produced a Privy Mark that actually tells how the coin was made using a laser engraving. So that's pretty fascinating. But let's talk a little bit about mintages for a moment. Rarity, which is essentially what the mintage numbers are, in other words, no more of a certain amount will be produced in a given year, tells us and can contribute to the demand factor, especially if it's from a very popular mint, such as the United States Mint. But I can tell you that of all the coins here, the most expensive one ever sold by the United States Mint is this here, the American Liberty series from 2025 with the sunflower and the horrible looking eagle on the reverse. But nonetheless, this thing, it was hot, and it has done very well in the secondary market in short order because it has all but sold out, at least from what we understand. We'll get the sales numbers soon, and but nonetheless not available. Many people interpret that as being sold out, even if it's not. I'm pretty sure some of these probably will come back online again, and I don't know how many. A lot of times what happens is some of these coins, they do an initial run, and they may sell through a quarter or half of them. But people don't understand. They don't wait for the sales report, so they just think immediately it's sold out, when that may not be the case, and then more come in, and it collapses the market. And that could happen with this coin, although I will say that the actual total mintage has been reduced on that coin. I think it is the rarest of the American Liberty series, which means this could be the key date so far. We'll see how that plays out. And so likely this is probably going to hold its value. And even though I believe it's 10,000, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the numbers in front of me, 10 or maybe 12,000. I think it's 10. And that means probably likely this thing is going to do well, as the series has been pretty popular. The other thing, a one-off, is the gold reproduction coins. The United States Mint has put this out, a half-ounce Sacagawea pure gold coin. And this coin sold out, I think, within a day. For most of the mintage, all but maybe 60 or so. And those were quickly exhausted through little blurts of availability. And this has become already worth a fair amount more than the issue price. How long will that last? I don't know. But right now, I think that mintage was 7,500. 7,500 limited mintage on that piece. And it is doing very well in the secondary market. And so those are two success stories from the United States Mint. And one can make the argument that this is a success story too. Time will tell on this, and I have no clue about that. So it's mostly hits when it comes to the United States Mint so far, but other mints it's not so much of a thing. It's very much hit or miss for any other mints if you live in the United States. Here's another example. This is my lowest mintage coin that I have in my collection until the one I'm going to show you today. And this is the Swan, the 2025 High Relief Gold Swan, limited mintage of 188 pieces. Sold for a high premium, but honestly, not too bad in comparison to previous issues because the gold spot price has risen so much since this thing was issued that when I got it, the premiums were fairly manageable. And so I got this thing, and who knows what it's going to do in the next couple of years. Perth Mint usually does fairly well, but it really just depends. There are some of those issues that I've seen come up on eBay and other platforms where you can get a really good deal on some of this older stuff, of the older coins, high relief gold. Once in a while you'll see them, not often, but they will make their mark. So let's talk about the two coins in the back. This I got at a coin show for just above spot price, basically bullion price for this piece. And it has a limited mintage of 500 pieces, this 2-ounce gold coin. And that was, now this would be under spot if I was to get this. But for the price I paid, I basically, with it now, I got a heck of a deal on it. But nonetheless, the dealer sold it to me as if it was a bullion coin, even though it's graded PR70 from PCGS. So that gives you an idea about that. Bought it as bullion, but it's a collector coin. Here's another case where I got this coin for under spot. That's right. This is essentially their burnished maple leaf. There's the W Mint mark that does not stand for West Point. It stands for Winnipeg, which is the mint that produced this coin here from 2020. This is the burnished maple leaf. Very rare. Only 400 pieces of this. 400 of these were produced. This thing I got for under spot price at the time. And it's crazy, but that's how it goes. And that's a 70 in a slab and everything. So you just never know what the market's going to do, even though there's a very rare mintage. And those rare mintages do not necessarily equate with value. So don't be fooled by that. Now it's time for me to show you the coin that I just got. That is the lowest mintage coin I've ever gotten. That's right. It is the Samoa 1-ounce Golden Eagle, third in the series. The other two were kind of portrait faces from 2023 and 2024. Didn't like those designs. This is a beautiful design. In fact, this eagle should be on the back of this coin. That's right. Look at that. Horrible. If this coin was on the back of that sunflower coin would be a major hit. And this is a high relief gold coin. Limited mintage of 100 pieces. That's right. In fact, the mintage will probably work against me. This is from the nation of Samoa. A beautiful coin. I saw this and pop up a couple of times. It's not available anymore. But I was thinking, man, I think you can get it on eBay now, but you will pay a lot more for it now. I got this thing for just above a bullion price right now. In other words, I had ordered it before the gold price went up. The massive increase to almost $3,600, and just came in, and gold price went up about $250 since then. So I essentially got this thing for just above what a regular price for a bullion coin would be. But this is an opportunity that I do not expect to profit from. Why? Because a coin can be too rare. This is likely the only one of these you'll see on YouTube, is my guess. I would be surprised if somebody can find somebody else that shows one of these on YouTube. Post it in the comment section below, and maybe email me a link to the video. I would love to see it. But only 99 other people will have this coin. Low mintage. And that means that it will not be talked about a whole lot. It'll be so rare that likely it's going to just fall through the cracks, and likely should pop up The others could pop up at a local coin shop somewhere, sold for bullion price. Sometimes rarity can work completely against you. That's right. Sometimes that can happen. And so you never know. You never know. I could be kicking myself in the foot for buying that coin, especially if the price of gold falls. But why do I do it? Because I enjoy it. I enjoy these coins. And I want something different. Partly, honestly, to show to you, rather than just the same old, same old. I'm showing you different types of gold coins and silver coins and the like, and to kind of keep it interesting. I've got to do what I can to compete in the world of YouTube and keep people's attention if I can. So I buy different coins, but I only buy what I like and I enjoy. And so that should be the big lesson out for you. If you're going to buy some of these coins and pay the higher premiums for them, don't expect to get them back. Just buy them because you enjoy them. That's really the bottom line. And I'm glad that I did. And let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you enjoy what I do here on this channel, I hope you will consider subscribing and also pressing the thumbs up button down below. So with that being said, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.